Whew. All right. Today we are joined with the founder and executive director of Not by My Own Community, located in Chicago, Illinois, my dear friend Whit, who also participated in our masterclass. And so I just want to open the floor right here, right now. And Whit, if you can tell me what inspires you to create your nonprofit and tell us a little bit about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for just creating this space for me, Kristen. So again, my name is Whit Devereaux, and Not by My Own Community really comes from my own testimony in overcoming domestic violence. I am a survivor first, then I am an advocate. So it was a promise that I made to God, like, Lord, if you get me out of this, then I'll make sure that everyone knows about you and that it was you who delivered me. So first I wrote a book about it, which was called Not by My Own in June of 2017. And then I started getting a lot of men and women coming to me asking, well, how did you get out? I have a friend, I know someone. Sometimes it would be them coming to try to get some advice for themselves. So I created an online mentorship program, and that was in 2018. That was before becoming fully incorporated as a nonprofit, which I later did in 2019, just because there were so many different things that I wanted to do. And I knew that having that 501c3 status would allow me to help even more people on a greater scale. So that's what led me from being a survivor to writing the book and now helping women all over the world to rebuild their lives post abuse.
Thank you so much for sharing. What do you think as a nonprofit leader? What are some of the biggest challenges before you took our program? What were some of those challenges that you were facing and which ultimately led you to signing up for the masterclass?
Well, one thing was not really having a fully functioning board. So, when you're first getting started, people say, oh, you just want to get started. But when you have a fully functioning board who is supportive, then you can make greater impact. And so before getting started, I had some people that were helpful and they said yes, but didn't have the time commitment available to be able to operate at the level that the non-function or that the nonprofit needed. So I was able to strategize with you once I was in the master class on how I could get a fully functioning board and then even get some more volunteers, because I was like a one person show. I was doing a whole lot by myself, having children and having all these other hats. And so just really learning how to delegate better, ask for help, and find people with the same passion. That was one of the things that really made me want to say, hey, you know what? Let me get some help. Plus, I had seen you at your other nonprofit, and your story really resonated with me. I saw the impact that you had there. So it was like one of those things where you feel like you know someone because you have seen them. They always talk about the like, no trust factor. And so I liked you. I trusted you, I'm like,
I'm glad.
yeah, and get some help, because I think it's always good to just remain teachable. There are a lot of things that I've done on my own. However, just like the nonprofit says, not by my own, we don't have to do everything by ourselves. So when help is available, I try to invest in myself in that way.
And let's talk about that for a second. So, when we first started, you were a one woman show and you were doing the most. You were doing admin, you were doing programs, you were doing the posting, you were doing everything. And so, first weekend, when we talked about how to build your team, how to build your volunteer team, can you just share some of the wins that you had almost instantly when you joined the program?
Okay, so instantly, I would say I remember you going over volunteermatch.org. And so I was able to kind of replicate some things that I saw that were on there and that we talked through. And that helped me to establish what I was looking for in a volunteer, what I was looking for in a board secretary at the time. But from that initial meeting of, okay, this is what a volunteer needs, these are the type of contracts that you use in the past, it really gave me like a blueprint to work off of instead of just blindly trying to do it myself. And so when I went on volunteermatch.org, I put in 2 different positions. I did get someone for board secretary that I actually knew who stepped up and is working well. So I was able to take that down. But then someone reached out right away to help us with marketing and social media. And then even I was able to bring someone who had volunteered with me in the past to get some of the hands-on training with you. And that helped her to get more confident in what she posted and using Canva. So I used to pay for Canva. So I ended up applying for Canva for nonprofits and got that for free. It's a whole lot of wins. So I have to kind of replay it back. But every week I was able to come back and report that I had applied what you taught before. And that was a big win overall. Yeah.
I loved being able to celebrate with you every week and walk through your wins. And even though to you they were small wins, having a team so you don't have to literally carry the organization on your back yourself, it's probably one of the biggest wins. And then implementing the content creation, implementing the strategy, implementing and fine tuning what you've learned with marketing, content creation, and PR is huge, especially as an author. So, what would you say? Can you paint this picture of where you are now? With we finished the masterclass, you literally applied everything. You were so eager and so excited each and every week to get in, to do stuff, to make it happen. You're like, I'm not wasting no time. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it now. So, what would you say? Can you paint this picture of where you are now and how your nonprofit is doing?
Sure. So now I have a fully functioning board. We had our first board meeting and we did our first fundraiser using some of the virtual fundraising tips and strategies you told me about. And we just did that last week, and that was pretty cool. Actually, this week, it was on Wednesday. We did the Canva for nonprofit. I got free, or they call it pro bono, legal services. So we're able to revise our bylaws. It's so much. I know I feel like I'm forgetting something, but we had a whole lot of wins.
So many. We should have written them down as they happened because there were so many.
You know what? I did when I was in the board meeting. I was running it down for them, and they just gave me the board meeting notes. So I can give you some more as I sit and think about it. I know for sure TechSoup was one. So TechSoup is like a company that is a nonprofit that gives other nonprofits discounts. So it just gave me more confidence to apply for things that I otherwise felt like, oh, that may not apply for my nonprofit. It helped me not to rely only on grants because grants are kind of hit or miss. You know, you might be waiting and get a no, you might be waiting and get a yes. And so just finding creative ways to continuously get the message out there. We started rebranding a little with our logo.
Oh,
so
I love
before
that.
I had that background, you know, and then we removed the background and have put it on all the letterhead and incorporated it into our branding and marketing. So for Self-Care Saturdays, that's something that we do in Not By My Own Community. My volunteer, she has been super helpful in going ahead and scheduling the posts. So for me, that's a big win because again, I'm not doing everything by myself. I have someone who's designated to do that. And it's really just letting people know, hey, this is how you can help, and then allowing them to help. So I think for me, even though it's been a whole lot of wins, that's like the biggest one. Because, you know, when you're a nonprofit founder doing it all, you can easily burn out. And I don't want to burn out. So I'm pretty early in the stages of this. So I think because I've gotten started on this path, then I can kind of stay away from the burnout because I don't want that, you know.
I love that. I love that. And let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of nonprofits come to the nonprofit makeover at all different stages. The new ones, the I just got certified nonprofits, the I've been doing it and trying to make it work, and maybe the more seasoned ones. And we talked about this, that a lot of nonprofits understand they need help. They know that they can't do it all on their own. I can't tell you how many nonprofit leaders that I've met that said, I don't even have a board. I'm doing it on myself. I don't know what to do, but I don't have the money to invest into this program. What I thought was so amazing about you is that your nonprofit, makes money and was making money pretty consistently with whether the books, whether it was events, whether it was different things that you all were doing. But you took that giant leap of faith. And what I felt was so profound was what you said in why you took that leap of faith, because you knew that you needed this to get your nonprofit not just here, but here. And so, could you kind of share with other nonprofit leaders what that felt like for you to invest into a program in hopes that you saw results, but luckily you did see the results? What did that look like, and what message would you have for other nonprofit leaders who were in your shoes?
Well, I think the biggest message is you are your greatest investment. So whether that be your mission or you and something that you're doing personally, you are your greatest investment. I spend a lot of time and money on other things that may not reap as great a return on investment. So why not learn from someone who has done it and has done it well and can help me get to a higher level at a quicker pace because I'm not trying to figure it out all by myself. You were able to just pretty much lay it out. I had some foundational things, but I was able to work with you to build upon that foundation. And I didn't have the money all right away, but I have like really big faith. Like my faith is on 10. And so I'm like, Lord, if this is what you want for us, then you'll provide. And he has. So that's pretty much how I live my life. My nonprofit is based on faith. So with me having that as part of our mission, then I have to actually walk that out. And so that's what I did. I just walked it out. I signed up for the information because I saw you in another group and I'm like, oh, she's doing this now. This will help me with one day becoming my own paid CEO, of the company, and not just putting my own money into it, but finding people who really believe in the mission to further fund it. So once I saw that, I signed up. What I liked most is that you followed up. Because I have so many things going on, I can tend to forget. And like once I got the gentle nudge and reminder from you, like, hey, this is when we're getting started, I'm like, let me go ahead and do it. I had enough to get started. I believe that the Lord will provide. This has been a great return on investment. And it's something that I can use with the other people on my board, with the incoming volunteers, to help them push the mission forward, which is the ultimate purpose. So you are your greatest investment. If you're able to eat out and spend money on things that really don't move you towards your mission or goal, then why not invest in something that is going to move you towards your mission and goal?
I love that. I want to say that, and I've said this every week to you, that you truly inspired me through the program and our time together during our coaching, our one-on-one coaching. And it was absolutely an honor to see you grow so much, your confidence grow so much, your passion, your excitement, your, oh my gosh, I found, this puzzle piece to make it better. And the text messages, and I'm probably going to keep them forever just to see that, the progress that you made, and being able to witness that and see, a fellow survivor rock this and take that leap of faith. Because, I share with people that I was literally selling t-shirts out of the trunk of my car, and I was able to raise over $1 million online. And I knew that through that journey, through the experience of getting out of that relationship and getting through everything that I did to get to where I am now, I have to share it. Like, this is information that nonprofits need. I know that I have the blueprint, and being able to share that with you so you can thrive, so you can touch millions and more lives, is a gift that will continue giving. And I'm excited to see where you go next. I want to see you on billboards. I want to see you all over social media and see you touch so many more lives. And so before we go, what message do you have for nonprofit leaders, maybe new or seasoned, from someone who is, literally walking through this right now, literally putting your blood, sweat, and tears into everything that you're doing? What message do you have for nonprofit leaders?
Don't try to do it by yourself. That's the biggest thing. You don't have to do it by yourself. There is help available. I believe that we should always remain teachable. So even if you achieve a certain level and you feel like, oh, I'm doing pretty well with my nonprofit, there's always more that you can learn. There's always a higher level that you can reach. There's always a greater impact that you can have with the community that you serve. So consider investing in yourself and then actually applying, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this as well, which is why I like the live component of it, especially for our session, is sometimes I'll buy things and never go back to it. So don't do that. Make sure that once you invest like your money, that you also invest your time and your follow through and actually apply the things that you learn. My life coach used to always tell us, applied knowledge, that's what you're looking to attain. Not just knowledge, but knowledge that you apply. So once you learn what you can learn from the nonprofit makeover, make sure that you go out and you implement, ask a whole lot of questions, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
I love that. And you know me, I say the last question and I really have 87 more. How can anyone find you, whether it's on social, online? I know the answer, but can you just share how we can support you and your efforts? Tell us what your socials, your website is, so we can go out, follow you, and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So I do a whole lot of different things. With regard to the nonprofit, if you go on notbymyown.com, then you will see everything that's going on with the nonprofit. You'll learn how to become a mentee, how you can donate, how you can become a reoccurring donor, and as well as our upcoming events. You can also go to whitdevereaux.com. That's where I have all my for-profit things. That's the book. Like Krista mentioned, I am an author. And you can see all of the things that I have going on social media at Whit Devereaux, WHITDEVEREAUX, or at NBMOC everywhere. So if you type in NBMOC or at Whit Devereaux, then you will find us, because we are Googleable, even though that's not a word, but we are. You can Google us.
I'm following you. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording right here. As always, Whit, you are truly an inspiration. I cannot wait to see where God takes you next.
Thank you so much.